I'm Mick McCarthy.
And I'm Tony Pulis.
And welcome to The Managers.
He gave me the job at 32. For a long time, I had that, imposter
syndrome.
You'd gone straight in.
I used to feel a bit embarrassed sometimes.
You're appointed as Wales manager. That must have been quite an emotional appointment, given the circumstances in succeeding the legendary Gary Speed.
When he got it, we both went for it. And he called me up. He says, Cookie, where are you? I said, in the second division in Greece. And he says, I'm in this big leather chair in Cardiff.
Right, Tom, our guest this week made his name as an accomplished centre-back during his playing days. After coming through the youth ranks at Manchester City, he went on to feature for Swansea City, Crystal Palace, Blackburn Rovers and Fulham, winning 4 promotions. He hung up his boots in 2002 and moved straight into coaching, becoming Fulham manager in 2003. He famously enjoyed a hugely successful spell as Wales manager and nearly took them all the way to Euro glory in 2016. It's our huge pleasure to welcome to The Managers, Chris Coleman. Chris, welcome, mate.
Mate, good to see you. Tom, good to see you.
I always ask this as the first question. When you were younger, when you were in school back in Wales, who was the biggest influence on your footballing days?
My father. My father was he's a Dublin boy, my father. He's born and bred in Dublin. He moved to Swansea when he was 20, I think. But he was calm. You know, when all the chaos, you know what it's like, schoolboy football. He was really calm. And the talks we used to have, I think if I had someone with a different mentality, maybe, because it's, you know, if you can be this much too early, this much too late, you miss your point. He was brilliant all the way through, calm, intelligent with me. And he came from a big family, and they loved the Gaelic football. But he played soccer, he played football, and he was a little winger.
Yeah,
he told me, but he said he didn't have any heart. So when he got a little bit,
winger. Do you think?
He didn't like it.
Can we have a blood test here, by the way? Let me just say, he was a little winger. I'm sat next to the 6'4".
Yeah, but mum's 6'8".
Oh, right.
Yeah. My mother. Yeah. My mother's the one with the tan, and she's 6'6". Yeah.
I had to ask that, mate. Go on, tell him.
If you'd seen him though,
yeah.
My father, he's a proper Dublin boy. Loved a drop of whiskey. But he was one of them. He was, he kept his hair long. He liked his gear. Never had a penny in his pocket. Right? We didn't come up that way. But especially when I was then I turned professional. I moved away. I'd come back, and he used to call me Finnegan. He'd say, Finnegan, have you got any clothes, any shoes? So I used to say, what size shoes are you, Dad? And he used to say anything from an 8 to a 12, right? Because he'd wear anything, and he'd be walking, and the shoes be flying off. He didn't care, as long as it was a label. And the jackets he had, they'd be like that, but he didn't care, as long as it had a label in it. And he'd walk around Swansea giving it the big one, you know.
That's brilliant. Anyway, so your dad had the biggest influence early on, keeping you right. So let's start from the beginning, though. As your playing career, you know, during your playing days, you worked under some big names: Terry Yorath, Mike Close, Pally and Evans, Steve Coppell, Alan Smith, Ray Harford, Tony Parks, Roy Hodgson, Ray Wilkins, Kevin Keegan. Wow, the list goes on. Roy Evans, Karl-Heinz Riedler, and John Tigana. Who had the biggest influence there? Could you pick one? I know it's difficult that with all them. They'll all have an influence, but somebody who...
Yeah, in terms of coaching,
it
was John Tigana. In terms of structure and because I had no idea, you know, I was busy playing, loved it in the middle of the dressing room with the boys. I never once thought about the structure of a training session until I started getting old and you start asking questions. So Tigana and his way was completely different to the rest of the lads. Ian Emmons was a really good coach. He came to Swansea.
Yeah,
he was an even better fella. Ian, a really good fella.
He's fab. Listen, mate, I tell everybody, I wouldn't have achieved
without Taff.
What I've achieved throughout my career without him nursemaiding me through, and then being a real powerful influence all the way through. You know, until he decided to retire when we were at Wolves. But he's fabulous. Man.
He came to Swansea. He was unlucky because he came to Swansea and they were like polar opposites, Terry, Yorath and Ian. Terry was fire and Ian was a thinker, calm. And you could talk to him, and we weren't used to that. We used to like Terry coming in and giving us a crack, you know. Ian was a complete opposite, but he was a gentleman, a good coach, Ian.
Put great sessions on.
Yeah, really good. For a defender as well, I learned a lot with him. He was into me from day one because Terry had me I was quite athletic, and Terry had me at left back bombing on.
Yeah.
Offensive, and Ian was trying to teach me the defensive side of it. He was a good coaching.
He was.
Chris, what I didn't know was that you were actually Mick's apprentice. Now, I know he's around about 86, 87 years of age. Did he pay you any money at Christmas for cleaning his boots and looking after him?
Petrified. We were all petrified. He was captain at Man City at the time. I remember arriving from Swansea. This is mid-80s, so Swansea was like a big town then, Tony.
Yeah.
I was very much like I was a mammy's boy. I was my insular mates, and I went to Manchester. Manchester was a big city. Man City, they had like international players like Mick. And I was so nervous, And then I remember you get designated like players who you have to look after their boots and their knees. And those were the days where you couldn't walk in. You had to knock the door to walk in the first team dressing room. You couldn't just walk in. That was all about respect. And I remember I had to clean Mick's boots, but I will say he was a gentleman. I mean, he wasn't a bully or anything like that. He was not with the young boys. He might have been with the opponents. But no, he was a gentleman. He was a gentleman with me.
So Tigana, what was he like as an individual?
Quiet, Tony. He was quiet. We weren't used to there was no team talk. Everything was Monday to Friday. There was no day off. 2 or 3 days with double sessions, but really measured. So you weren't coming in the next day shattered. You were ready to go again. We used to do a lot of stretching sessions and a lot of yoga stuff, which in 2000 was
new.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I saw that. I went to play in Lyon. And the stretching sessions and all those things that have come into the game now here, they were there then.
And you feel better, Mick.
Strength and conditioning,
helped me a lot because I was a big boy, and I always used to feel stiff, after a hard session and all this. When he first arrived, Karl-Heinz Riedler pulled me and he said, "Look, Jean Tigana's going to arrive because he's a French coach." He said, you won't last because the way they do things." He said, "You're not going to like it." I trained Monday to Friday. I used to have a beer after the game on a Saturday. We'd have a beer on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I was that type, the old school.
Pretty much like most of us, mate.
Exactly, mate. So I thought, I'm not going to last there with this guy. But I was a captain of Fulham and I went to speak to him and said, I don't think it's going to work, And he said, "Chris, give me 6 weeks. If you don't like it," he says, "I'll make sure that we'll do we can get you a move."
Yeah.
And after about 2 or 3 weeks, I thought, no, this is fun. I felt good. I felt physically really good. I really enjoyed the way he did things, the way he was with players. He never raised his voice.
Yeah.
He's really calm. And then his coach, Christian Damiano, was the coach, if you know what I mean.
Very mature conversation that was, wasn't it, when you went to see him, because that could have ended in shouting and roating. Well, really early on.
Well, Mick, then when I became a manager myself, sometimes I look back and I think, I wish I'd have handled that better. I was a bit too vocal, too aggressive. He was calm. He was like, no, just give it 3 or 4 weeks, give it a month, 6 weeks. If you don't like it, we can work. So he was like that throughout. He was always dead calm.
Did you ever take a bit of his approach into management? Did you ever think, I wonder how he'd approach that? And when you could have gone fire into somebody, because it's quite easy, isn't it, when things are going tough for you?
Yeah, I think, but because I think as well with him is because he was Jean Tigana.
Yeah,
we all remembered him from that great French team with Platini and Jerez.
Yeah.
So, and when he used to join in the games, he was still the best player. He was unbelievable. He was in the possessions. He was awesome player. So, I think when you got that respect. So
was the system different, Chris? Did you change the system?
Oh God. I was almost I was centre back, but then when it was a goal kick, I was like the full back, because now we see it a lot.
Yeah.
But in 2000, this was and in the Championship, it was a hard physical league. He had me and Andrew Melville or Kit Simon split in, receiving the ball off Mike Taylor, passing. He played in a diamond midfield.
Yeah.
He was bringing the wingers inside. He had 2 strikers, but strikers played wider. We had Lee Clark as a 10. And we were always in little pockets, and I remember people saying, you can't, all right, but when you go to Sheffield United in October and the pitch is not so good.
Yeah.
But he didn't care. He said, no, that's what we did.
That's the way, yeah.
But we had the best players.
Yeah.
And I think now this is what I think coaches get tripped up, because they're trying to play a philosophy of this style of football.
When they haven't got the players.
And if you haven't got the players, You can't play like that.
You'd like to think, wouldn't you, with him, that if he'd have done it and he thought, we can't do this, he wouldn't have continued doing it.
He changed it, mate. It's a good because we got promoted.
You change it. You know, if you can't, if you're a manager, you're a coach, and you're looking at your team and you keep going, well, I want to play this way, but I haven't got the players, or the players are not good enough to do it. You've got to change it, and that's good management.
And he did change it because we eased the championship, right? We were best players. We had the best team. We won the championship. The next year, we invested in the team, brought in some players, and he tried to play the same way. We finished well in 14th.
Yeah.
But in the third year, he kind of adapted it a bit because teams had worked us out.
Yeah.
We weren't the best team anymore by a country mile. So we had to do things a bit differently. And he did. Training and everything was the same. But tactically, he was a little bit more defensive.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So anyway, touch upon your playing career. At 30, you break your leg in a car crash in January 2001, which ultimately leads to an early retirement. How difficult was that for you at 30? You might have 5 years more playing.
Yeah. Well, I still miss playing now. And I don't know whether that's because at 30 was effectively, I rehabbed, I got back, played up 8 or 10 games in the reserves. I played once for Wales, came on as a sub, but I was nowhere near. And you know, don't you yourself, when you can't, your head's telling you one thing and your legs are like, So, and that was the building up to the moment where I went and said, right, that's it. For about 3 or 4 months, it was hard. It was really hard because I thought, I'm not good. I played football since I was 7 or 8. I don't know anything else.
Did you have people around the club who helped you then, Chris?
Fulham were awesome.
Were they?
They were awesome.
Yeah.
And the guy we just talked about, John Tagana, I'm sat here now with a history in management because of him.
Yeah.
Because he backed me when I thought, because I'd been a certain type in the dressing room, I'd been a bit of a jack the lad, I loved the beer. We were all like that, weren't we? And then, we worked hard, played hard. It was, but he pulled me in and he said, look, don't worry, go with the under 9s in Fulham. Do a month there, do a month with the under 10s, a month with the under 11s. He said, and then after you've had maybe a year with everybody, I'm going to bring you with me and you can be part of my staff.
Can I ask you, had you had thoughts of doing that while you jack the lad and having a beer and all that? Had you had thoughts of being a coach, a manager?
I thought there's no way, Mick.
Yeah.
Was no way could I.
So it's always a bit like look on the bright side of life, isn't it? So the injury that caused you to become a coach.
It cost me what? It cost me.
It cost you 5 years playing, but it gave you how many years management and coaching?
I think, it kept me in the game.
If you'd got to 35, 36 and just drifted out of it without doing anything, no badges, no coaching.
Yeah, correct.
So
I was forced
amazing
into
how
it.
It actually did you
a favour.
It forced me into it,
It didn't feel like that, I know. I get that. Cause
and I had it for a long, long time because I got the job at Fulham. My first job was at Fulham in the Premier League. So it was like winning the lottery. I mean, the odds on that, because we had Mohammed Al-Fayyad as the chairman, and I got the job. I got at the end of one season, I had 5 games, we was in a relegation battle, and it went well. I won 3, drew 1, lost 1. He gave me the job at 32. And that was an amazing, but for a long time I had that imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
I was like
inferiority.
I did because I hadn't taken over a youth team and an academy and a reserve.
You'd gone straight in.
I'd gone straight, and I used to feel a bit embarrassed sometimes. I'd go to the coaching courses or whatever, and I'd be looking at guys who've been doing it 20 years, really good coaches, working their socks off, been a little bit unlucky, never got a chance.
Yes,
and I used to feel, I used to be like, and I'm sat there with Fulham, we're in the Premier League, we're doing, I had that for a long time.
Fair play to you, though. You made the most of it. Because you could have gone that way.
You can. Sometimes
but
you
grow
last
with it,
and
Chris, don't you?
You have to
grow.
You have to, yes. Like Mick says, and if you don't last that first 6 months, you're not seen again.
All those ones that you've been there and they've had more games than you and more experience and good coaches, you have to lift up, put your chest out, stick your chin out, go and shake their hands with a firm handshake and try and feel as if you ought to be in the same position as them. But it is a bit of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it is.
Who was with you then, Chris? Who was helping you?
I took Steve Keane from the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the planning and everything.
Yeah.
For the sessions, the coaching sessions. I got the job then, Tony, because I kind of had the ear of the dressing room, if you know. I'd been a captain, I'd been in the middle of it.
The respect.
Yeah. So that's where and he gave me a 1-year contract, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was paying him when I look back. I think I was giving him money when I looked at the contract. But I didn't care. I just wanted to get in
To
there.
do it, yeah.
So I was super lucky.
Yeah.
Man,
Right,
you finished. I mean, it's a huge success your first season.
Yeah.
You finished 9th, missing out on Europe by just a few points. You know, what was your secret for this then? Good coaching, better players, a bit of both.
We had good players.
Yeah.
That was the best team I had when I was at Fulham.
Was it?
Yeah, it's the best team I had. But we sold Sahar in the January
Yeah.
to United for 13 million.
The next question I'm going to give you is Alex Ferguson must have been watching as he kept poaching your best players. So that was the next question.
But what he was doing, right? He called me up, to be fair to Alex, and in pre-season, and he said, "Look, congratulations." He was giving me advice. He's brilliant.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I never forget, he called me up again a month later, giving me advice, brilliant. And then he said, we've got some good players there, Chris. I said, like me, like ex-centre back, too many bangs on my head. I was like, yeah. I said, this striker, we got Sahar. And I knew, that's how he was calling me. And he kept ringing me every month.
Yeah. How cute was he? Because when I was at Millwall, I get the call from him asking me about Ben Thatcher and somebody else, and I'm waxing lyrical about him, never thinking that he might be trying to nick him off. Well, has he really got interest in them?
Yeah. He called me up, before in that transfer window, there was a week to go, and I'd gone publicly saying, "Over my dead body, are we selling this?" And Alex called me up and he says, "Chris, look, maybe if we don't take him in this window, we'll probably take him in the summer." And I'm like, "Thanks, Alex, that's fantastic." I knew the deal. Looking back, the deal had already been done. Right? Yeah. But he was calming me down in the media because I come out fighting. He just absolutely manipulated me for fun.
Edwin van der Sar, in June 2005, you must have been trying to stop him watching games, were you?
Well,
he keep our scouts from Craven Cottage.
We had Mike Taylor, right? Mike had done really well at the club. We got promotion. He was the number one. He was brilliant. And then we signed Edwin for like 8 million or something. It was and that's in 2002 or 2001, 2002. So then Mike became the number 2. But Mike wanted to play first team football.
Yeah.
And I went to see Mike. I said, "Look, I think we'll probably lose Edwin because we can't hold him." He's like, And Mike had the chance to go to Birmingham. Mike ends up going to Birmingham. I went to see the Mohammed Al Fayed and I said, "Look, we can get £1 million for Mike Taylor."
Yeah.
I said, "That will help us facilitate the wages for Edwin, at least for a season."
Yeah.
And then you can sell him if you want.
Again.
Yeah. So we do that. Then about December arrives and Edwin's having a bit of a bad time. So I get the call from Arids. "You have to come and see the boss." I go and see the chairman, top floor. And he's going mad with me. He's saying, "Leave Edwin out of the team. You have to play Mike Taylor." And I'm looking at him thinking, I sold Mike Taylor 6 months ago. And I remember thinking, if I tell him, I'm going to embarrass him. And that's one thing you didn't do. Yeah. So I said, "Mike's having problems with his hamstrings, chairman. He's got his knee, his hamstrings tight." Yeah, I didn't say. And he said, okay, but speak with Edwin. And if Edwin continues to be bad, you have to play Mike Taylor. And I remember leaving the office thinking, I'm cooked because he's been playing for Birmingham. We've got £1 million for him like 6 months ago, And
you're giving it to Edwin.
Yeah, we give it to Edwin,
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if your team goes 2 goals up, you win. Job done. You're getting paid out. Singles, Accas, bet builders, it's all covered. And this also means that we need to reconsider some crucial games across your careers, Mick and Tony. In fact, I'm going to take you back to the Britannia Stadium, Halloween 2009, the first time Mick McCarthy meets Tony Pulis in the Premier League. Stoke go 2-0 up. But Mick, your Wolves team come back, draw 2-2. And I'm sorry, Mick, I'm taking the point off you. Because of BOYLE Sports' new laws, I'm afraid Stoke won that game. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
There you go. So get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they go on to win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
Anyway, you continue to keep Fulham in the Premier League, comfortably finishing 12th and 13th in the following campaigns. But in April 2007, you let go despite Fulham being 4 points above the relegation zone. How do you reflect on that?
That was, we had a new chief exec come in at the start of the season. And I don't think...
Shall he remain nameless?
I won't name him. No, I won't name him.
Okay.
I won't name him. I don't think he
I'm
lost.
going to find out now.
I don't think he lost.
I'm going to get on that phone, Mick, and find out who it was.
He didn't.
So let me just clear something up. He's no chance of finding out on his phone. Unless Deb's
Like he's the dinosaur tone like me.
Deb's. She might ring him now anyway. Go on.
You can ask your Mrs. Tone. So he comes in and he didn't like me. I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. So he got to me before I got to him, basically.
Charlie, do you think he had somebody in mind for the gig? Like,
yeah, he already had someone lined up. Yeah, he already had someone lined up. I tell you what, you know,
You get the feeling, don't you?
You know, didn't you? Right?
Yeah.
Because there was only 5 games to go when they outed me. Yeah,
Was there, honestly?
yeah. 5 games to go.
So what was that friction right from when he came in, or did it just build up over a period of
I
time?
never trusted
Chris?
him in the way he was trying to do business in signing players and some of the players that were being thrown at me. And then because I always had the chairman's ear,
Yeah,
because I had that relationship with him.
yeah,
And I remember saying to the chairman a couple of times, we need to be careful here.
yeah.
Because
What you're doing?
yeah. We were signing a couple of big name players, but they weren't right for us.
Yeah.
And they had a good career.
Yeah,
You know what the Premier League's like. You two know it better than I do, right? You had more experience than I. It's unforgiving. I don't care how good you were 5 years ago. And if you're not physically good now, teams run all over you.
well, Chris, can I just tell you, you're in good company here because 2 old curmudgeons sat opposite you and not really having the sporting directors, sporting managers, whatever they call them, that are between you and the chairman or the owners.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Tony had the ear of the owners and the chairman, whatever they might be called, and I did as well. And it was always, we had a chief executive, but that wasn't between you. That was as well as.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and then the longer I went in, very similar, most probably at the time, they started to become more involved. They started to get closer to the power, and then build almost an empire within an empire.
Yeah.
And everything I find everything that happened to me was that it was all about them looking after themselves and not really worrying about the club, the bigger picture.
It was like, I tell you what, Tony, it's like Mick said, I saw the turning point where I used to sit with the chairman and the chief exec. Then the chairman was removed, and I'm dealing with the chief exec, and I'm having to report to the chief exec. I don't know what the chief exec is reporting to the chairman.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the times a different story than why Then we lost a few games. And it was what happened was, then we were playing Chelsea. We'd lost away to Liverpool. We lost away to Everton, which you can do, right? And then that puts pressure. That's why the Premier League's difficult. If you got a home game, you can lose a home to anybody, can't you?
Of course
It's like everybody.
Yeah.
We lost a home game. So the 4th game, I've got 3 defeats. Is Chelsea at home, right? And Mourinho's going for the title. And I'm thinking, this is, and everybody's saying this is his last game, but we end up winning 1-0, right? The chairman, Mohamed Al Fayed, is over the moon, and I see the chief executive's face, and he's like, because that was his moment. He was gonna, I was out, and we won. So that,
See, I've had, you've had it as well. I've had really good chief executives as well. But Chris, don't you?
Of course you do.
You get that feeling straight away.
Of course. I'm not saying I've had really good ones. I've had good technical directors, or sports directors, call it what you want. I've had 1 or 2 really good ones.
Yeah.
And it changes everything. The problem is if you get a bad one, it's all new at the end. You want
them to look after you, though, don't you? You want them to be on your side with signing players, dealing with things that happen at the club. You want him on your side. You want him defending you, because you have to be defended sometimes for something we might have done, results.
I just think
you want that buffer between you and the owners, but you want him supporting you.
That's right.
As opposed to
I just think the best way of getting over it now, because it's there now to stay. If the sporting director brings you in, the sporting director then he's put his neck on the line by picking you. You're working together. You get the sack. He gets the sack. That sorts that one out. Because then he's got to look after you, because his job is on the line as well. At the moment, your job's on the line. His is not.
No, that's right. At least I think you get longer time to try to put it right.
You would, and I think you'd have that understanding that he would go into the boardroom afterwards And when the chairman's moaning about a result or not playing well or not doing this, he knows his job is on the line with you. So he'll fight your corner. At the moment, you've got a situation where the coaches, or the manager's the coach now, the manager is there, and everything, all the guns and all the arrows are pointed at him if the results don't happen. And then you've got this fella who's appointed him. He's made the appointment, who's sat there. Chairman goes, well, that's not very good. And he goes, yeah, it's not, Chairman. Because he's looking, it's human nature to look after himself.
It works the other way, Tony. If we sign players that don't work and we end up, we get the tin tank.
No, that's what I mean.
So,
but you've got now you've got a situation in football.
There'd be a big pile
they don't
of,
even pick the players.
No,
there's someone else picking the players. So you've got all this nonsense happening above a manager, and that the game's gone in respect of management. Management. You used to think, well, if I can get in and have 3 years, 1 year to look what the club's like, the second year to make the changes I need, and the third year, if I'm not successful, I deserve to get the sack. Now you're looking at 3 months. You're looking at, and if, like you said, Chris, if you've got someone who doesn't like you alongside you, you're talking 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden you're getting isolated.
Yeah, for sure.
You're getting pushed. I don't know how you see it.
I've had the both. I've had good and the bad.
Yeah.
And as now with a head coach, right? But I'm not a head coach, and I don't even pretend to be a head coach.
Yeah.
I am where I am. Right?
Yes.
So I can't pretend this now. The way they want things, a head coach, and I see. But when I look at it, it's not as if this new style, they're winning all the time, are they? They're not the one.
No.
People are still losing.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
That's what I can see, right?
Yeah.
And I understand the game's changing because society is changing.
Yeah.
Football's not going to stay the same. But I see this now, the clubs want this certain type, and I'm like, well, unsuccessful. 4 coaches in 1 year, 3 coaches in 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's not like the way they're doing things is, no, that's the proper way, and we can only do it that way. There is another way to do it. And the other way has been proven because it lasted a long time.
Yes.
The problem we've had is football's grown, right? The Premier League is the biggest league in the world, is an incredible amount of money and the exposure. That means a lot of people want a piece of that.
Yeah.
So that's why you've got more sports directors, more technical directors, more analysis, more of everything. Right, because that's the way football's gone. But teams are still losing.
Yeah.
Whichever way. It's the great one. We talk about Jim Smith at times on this programme, and I was at Lily, so you might have been there. And it was that the Italian league was Serie A was the league. All the top players were going there. And there was a big conference, and I think Charles Hughes got up and he started talking about the way the Italians prepare, the way they do things, and this, that, and the other. And they don't have fish and chips. They don't do this. They don't do that. They eat pasta. They do have a glass of red wine maybe at night, 1 glass, and then this pasta. Jim stood up and he went, Charles, the teams at the bottom of the Italian league, are they eating pasta as well? Or haven't they found out about it? And you think, yeah.
He's right, isn't he?
Yeah, the people at the top of the league got the best players.
Well, we look at that top 1% and go, no, that's how they do things. So everybody else. But other people who do it are losing their jobs, losing games, being relegated.
They're not capable of doing it how they do it. You can't do it like the best ones can.
No.
You can try and
You've got to be your own
replicate
man, Chris, haven't you?
100%. And I'm sitting here, and an art said, I thought, maybe I need to do it that way now. And I've tried it. It don't work. And it don't work because
it doesn't suit you.
No,
not you.
It's not me. I'm acting the part, if you know what I mean.
Well, you can't do that with the players, can you?
No.
You have to be sincere with the players. They would see straight through.
See straight through, yeah.
What's he
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, we'll fast forward to January 2012 now. You're appointed as Wales manager. That must have been quite an emotional appointment given the circumstances in succeeding the legendary Gary Speed. But getting it anyway, but succeeding Gary as well.
Yeah, I think, that will when I think back to like that time, because like, especially Welshman, Irishman, wherever we are, we all love our country, don't we? And so that was, I thought maybe one time I'll go and manage Wales if I'm lucky. And when he got it, we both went for it.
Yeah.
We were speaking to each other. And,
Yeah.
and then when he got it, I ended up in Greece and he called me up And he says, Cookie, where are you? I said, I'm in Larissa in Greece, in the 2nd division in Greece. And he says, I'm in this big leather chair in Cardiff. He said, you could have been here. He said, but I'm sat in Cardiff. We're having a laugh, having a joke. And in about, it must have been 3 months, 4, whatever it was, because we were talking all the time. And then I got a phone call an hour before kickoff. It was Lee Clark. Clarky just texted me. And I thought it was odd, Nobody, it's like nobody contacts you. They know the game. And that's when I found out. And then, so I took the job because I thought I could do it. And I thought it'd be good to do it because he was my mate. And,
Was you surprised?
Yeah, it was. It hit me for 6, to be honest. It hit me for 6 all at the same time, where I was surprised that I had a lot of pushback from people I'd known a long time. But when I'm looking back, I think they were thinking, this not speed should still be here, It was such an unthinkable situation.
Yeah.
And I can only think that they were thinking, why is Cookie here? Speed should be here.
Yeah.
It's not. He's like, why is he not here? Speeds.
Yeah.
Because we all thought a lot of him, and he was there, and we were losing games, and what Mick just said there, that my first 12, 18 months, I was trying to be like him, doing the things that he did, because they had 5 games they'd won.
Yeah.
It was going well. But because I was trying to do what he'd been doing, and it backfires on you, backfired famously on me.
You got to be you, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. And then it took me to such a dark point, low point, where he was like, right, that's it. I'm going to go off in a different direction. I don't care. As long as it's different to what Speeds was doing.
Yeah.
I had to do something,
No, something that you thought was right.
What I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I took a huge gamble. Sometimes you have to. With the formation, I took a gamble. I started playing with 3 at the back.
Yeah.
And at the start, I had a lot of pushback from the players because they wanted to play 4-3-3. They want, so that was...
Even though they've been losing games as well, they still have an opinion of what they want to do.
At the time, there was a lot of talk about when I got the job, certain players didn't want me to get the job.
Normal stuff.
Normal stuff, yeah. It is, yeah. It's all over the radio. But it was like, there was people who, now I was at a moment where the people were waiting for me to lose. So then it was like, that chapter's over and and then I got a new contract, 2-year contract. And that's when I changed everything.
Was that Osher with you then?
Osh was there, but Kit was my assistant.
Yeah.
Osh was the first team coach, and he was also the director of football.
That's how I knew him then.
Yeah. And then Kit went to Fulham. He got the Fulham job. You can't. He's got to take it. You can't.
Yeah.
So halfway through that campaign, where it was going really well, Kit took the Fulham job, and I bought Paul Traub in.
Yeah,
Paul Traub, who was really good coach.
Yeah.
And he helped us a lot. He was really good. And of course, then everything else is
what were the first few meetings like with the players? And did you feel resentment?
They were like looking at me as they say, we don't want you here. I felt like I could feel it on them. And, there was 1 or 2 senior players. Like Kit had all me back.
Yeah.
In my first campaign, towards the end of it, we weren't going to qualify. Someone was late for a meeting, like 10 minutes late. Senior player who will remain nameless. And
Deb.
I thought I'm gonna chin him. I'm gonna intimidate because he'd been a nightmare, to be fair. Like, too much to say. Not great. Big clash with me anyway.
Yeah.
And Kit said to me, if you do that, you're gonna lose your job.
Yeah.
And my head had gone. I'd had enough because it wasn't just this one incident. It'd been building.
Yeah.
And it'd chirp in the background. It was always the same voice. And I thought,
Can I just ask you what? Because when you get to that point, you're going to say it out. I'm going to chin him, and you're going to do this. And Kit said it to you. So what was it that made you change your mind? Was it Kit, or did the penny drop and you go, hold on a minute?
I tell you what, mate, when Kit said it to me, I came outside of the room because we were waiting for him. Kit came out and he said to me, calm down. And I said, this is it. He said, no, calm down. He said, look, you can't do that. Calm down. And then when I walked back in the room and I was looking at the lads, and then I kind of put myself where they were, looking at
how you were going to react.
Never happen. You can't, right? You can't. But I swear to God, I say that when I was at the club management, I used to have fights with loads of players, like across the table, being pulled apart. That happened lots of times. It was international football, and I thought, no, I'll step back. I'll just remove myself from it. He made himself look a bit stupid anyway because of what he'd done. We ended up losing the game 3-0 at home. And that was at the lowest. It was like, I thought, this was probably they're going to push me out here.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And they kept me. And then after that campaign, new faces, new team.
Did you change it then? Did you change it completely? Or?
Yeah, I changed everything.
Yeah, good.
I remember saying to Wash, I said, look, I'm going to change the formation. And I don't like. I said to Kit, and they were like, nobody's playing three at the back. I said, look, and I watched Liverpool play in the Champions League against Basel, right?
Yeah.
And they were playing 3-4-3, but they were playing 3-4-3 offense, and they looked fantastic. And my thinking was Bale and Ramsey. How can I get them in offensive positions?
Yeah.
And that suited us 2 number 10s, but it also suited us because we had 3 defenders and 2 defensive 6s, so we were solid in a transition. We were all right.
Yeah. Well, Palace have done fantastic doing it this year.
Palace have done brilliant with it.
Yeah.
And but you have to have the players to.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah.
We go back to it.
You have to have their hearts and minds to do it as well.
And the only way that they get convinced is in a game and then getting a win. Because if you don't win, it doesn't matter how good it looks on the training ground.
Yeah.
You know. Also, for us, we weren't. People say, "Oh, you played 3-4-3, Chris." Well, I tell you what we were when we didn't have it. We were 11.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't 5-4. Everybody was behind the ball.
Yeah,
because we weren't good enough.
Yeah. To be anything else.
To be so expansive.
Yeah.
You know, and people say we had Bale and Ramsey, and we did, and we were, but when we didn't have it, everybody was behind the ball. You know, that was it.
Well, it worked because you lead Wales to qualification to Euro 2016, the first major tournament since '58. What did that mean to you, the players, the nation?
Yeah, it was surreal, really. It was surreal. It was.
I was out there with the BBC.
Well, he was there, so you know, it was.
I'll tell you a story in a minute.
It was just surreal, you know. I think the actual, the qualifying for the camp for the tournament was such a big deal for us because we how many times Tom, we got in the last minute and we
been
failed
there for years and years and
Where
years
was it in
and years.
2016? Where was the tournament?
in France. Yeah,
You're saying the momentum you gained as a team, it was phenomenal because Wales being ranked 8th in the world rankings in October 2015.
well, it was because what happened
Changed something.
Do you know what, Mick? And I got accused actually because we did this. I had this new structure in my head, right? Like Osh didn't want me to do it, Kit didn't want me to do it, and I don't blame them either. Because if I was reversed and I was them, and they were saying to me, I said, don't do that. It's a big risk, right? And then I said, I'm going to change the captain. And like Osh said, you can't change that. Yeah. You're going to lose him. But I had to do. We had to go in a different direction. I had to do what I thought. No, this is the way for us to go. So we did it, and it was great. But it was a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk involved, you know. It was a hell of a lot of risk.
Yeah, but if you keep doing the same thing and it doesn't work, then that's the definition of madness.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
You've got to change it. And
well, that's the thing now.
You might as well get the sack doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you get the sack, you might as well do it how you want to do it, not by doing what somebody else was doing.
I don't understand now. Now I don't understand why coaches don't change a little bit sooner, if I'm honest. And I know there's a big thing now. They stick to what they believe and they stick to their philosophy and that. But I think, like you just said, Mick, if you're losing, right, and you know it's not working 2 months, if you're lucky and you're in and it's still, you've got to,
Chris, you've got to have the strength to do it.
You have to.
You've got to have the strength.
Yeah, it's going to carry on going the same way, you know.
We talk about, we just won Daniel Farke at Leeds. That's a tough old gig, that.
Yeah.
And it looked like everybody wanted him out of that job, and he's doing an amazing job now.
Changed the formation.
And he changed
the formation.
it.
Yeah, he changed the formation, yeah.
Went a lot stronger.
Wasn't working,
No, that's right. So. They've been playing in the champ as well. 4-3-3, expansive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what's your recollections of 2016, the group stage first?
The group was the national anthem against Slovakia.
Yeah.
Coming out of the hotel and seeing like Welsh fans everywhere. It was unbelievable. And you don't, until you've been in a tournament, you're like in a bubble. You don't realise, you don't know what's going on outside. You've no idea. It's just there. And then when we sang the national anthem against Slovakia, it was real then, it was like, we're there now. I remember having a lot of
emotion.
Yeah, emotion, a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't get this. Not that we can't lose, it's like we need to show something today, We need to like play for Wales and at least have a good performance against the Slovakia team with a decent team. But it was that.
I was at the game.
Was at the stadium?
BBC, at the stadium.
Yeah.
And what we'd done, I'd taken all the family over. We'd rented a place up in the hills somewhere above Saint-Tropez. And we stayed there, and the BBC then put on minibuses to take me to the games. So, of course, I'd take the children, my grandchild, little Luca was just about 2 years of age. And the tournament was unbelievable. And when they qualified from the group, Andy Evans, who we've just talked about, invited me down for lunch, and he had 4 mates with him. And I was saying to him, you know, what are you going to stay on? And the 4 of them had told their wives they were going back. As soon as the qualifying round was over, we're back. None of them did, Mick. Now, I can't tell you what happened when they did go back, but they stayed right to the end.
A lot of people
but
did
the
that,
atmosphere,
Yeah.
you know, you can explain it better than me. I was on the outside. The atmosphere was just amazing for the country, wasn't it?
I was getting like texts off my best mates from school. They're still my best mates, and they like, it was as if they like won the lottery, right? They were in France, right? They were there's just the 3 of them, and like Tone says, they were due to go back because we kept winning. They were ringing their wife up, going, "Look, within a week," and in the end, it got a little bit. For them, it was a bit, you know, we better get home.
Read it with Ireland
You won't
in
have a
90.
home.
Sell the car. Sell the car. I'm staying. Just stayed home.
I remember watching that World Cup, Mick, when you
90.
Who's in the quarterfinals? Is it Romania?
No, we played Italy.
Italy, was it Italy?
It was last 16 Romania. We won on penalties.
That's it. Yeah, I remember watching that. Right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing behind the goal like it's just green and white.
Unbelievable,
It was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I remember watching Holland play, and I tell the story in Wales. It's like all orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking this is when I was a player. Wales, it was like blue and white Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham jerseys. We never had that. But we had it. We
was
finally
just
got it with
Brilliant, yeah.
and it was a great feeling. You're like all the country was together.
Yeah.
In that, it was awesome. Feeling.
I think someone will tell me they're still paying it off 35 years
Probably,
on.
yeah.
I know.
Probably, yeah.
But let me tell you, it was the best time of my life. It was the best.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. But you had an incredible tournament, by the way. You know, losing to eventual winners Portugal when you smashed Belgium 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Did you dare? I guess you know this answer. Did you dare to dream that you could win the whole thing? Of course you did. But go on, tell us your thought process.
I was like, when we lost to Portugal, I was like, and I don't get upset with football. I don't like cry or anything, but I did with Portugal. I come off the pitch, went in my little room. I thought, because once we started progressing, nobody was looking at us, and then we started progressing. And I looked at the route, the teams that we could play against, and I thought we could bloody win this, you know. I actually thought we can bloody win this. Before the tournament began, I swear to God, in my head, I said quarterfinal. I thought we can get to the quarterfinals if we were a little bit fortunate along the way.
Yes.
I thought, because nobody's looking at Wales.
No.
Right? And there's always a little surprise. But then when we got so far, I thought, I think we're going to win this.
Yeah, you know when you see you're emotional at the end of it though, and you could have shed a tear, maybe you did. That is because of all this, the stoicism that you showed, like stiff upper lip, and you're going through all the games, and you're doing all the press conference, and you're holding all your emotions in, and then when you're beaten, it just comes out.
It comes out.
It comes out.
I couldn't stop myself, and I had to go.
Unbelievable.
Ian Gwynn Hughes, our press guy, was the top guy. Came back. He knocked on. He said, "Chris, are you all right?" I said, "You know, I'm all right. I'm all right." He said, "Come back. Come and say."
They're almost happy tears though.
Yeah.
I know you're not happy that you're being knocked out, but you look back on the tournament, and you're letting it go because you've held it in.
That's right. Yeah.
All the things that you do, you have to.
I don't think we feel what they feel, right?
No.
What the fans are feeling.
No.
I don't think we allow ourselves. I don't think we can allow ourselves until it's like you say, Mick. When it's all over and you look
back at it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That all hit you at the same. When I came home as well, incidentally, I was sitting with my wife, and my youngest boy then was only like 3, and you know, like then you back into like normal life where you'd have.
Yeah.
I found it really tough, like for a week or so.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't
To
know.
come down off.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was really difficult.
Chris, when I used to go on international duty, when I came back, Fiona, my wife, said to me, "Mick, you're not on international duty now." Just how this is when I was playing as well. You've been away with your mates for a few days.
Correct.
And,
It's different.
Everything's different.
Yeah,
you know,
it is
you're
different.
you're getting food given to you. Everything's laid on a plate.
Yeah.
You come home, suddenly you've got 3 kids running around.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like normal life now.
Back to
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is.
It's a strange one, I know. It's a strange one.
Well, I'm glad you felt the same.
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if the team you back goes 2 goals up, you win, job done, you're getting paid out. Singles, Accas, bet builders, it's all covered. And this means we need to reconsider a crucial game in your career, Tony. I'm talking, of course, about the 1999 playoff final when your Gillingham team were 2 goals up with 5 minutes to play. Obviously, that means, in the eyes of BOYLE Sports, you have now won the Second Division playoff final, 1999. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And also, West Ham won the 2006 FA Cup final, which is great. And commiserations to Liverpool for not winning the 2005 Champions League. And obviously, now Gillingham have won the 1999 Second Division playoff final. Commiserations to Nicky Weaver and Manchester City. Yes, get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only, applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
Of all the defeats in your career, is the loss to Portugal the one you think about most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was... is
'Cause
that
what,
one?
Was that because what might have been?
Yeah. And it was like first half.
I know.
Do you know what,
Yeah.
as well, told them, right? He's coach for Portugal, wise old fella, because I thought they were going to come for us. And he played really low. He had everybody behind the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
Counter-attacked.
Yeah. They were counter-attacking us. And then we were a little bit, because that, that wasn't supposed to happen, We were the team that counter-attacks.
Yeah.
And he threw us a bit. And then there's one thing I work with Big Ginger Collins as well. I said, look, if this happens, if the ball is in the wide areas and it's a good cross and Ronaldo's on your back, I said, you're not going to win the header. I said, because the way he jumps, I said, you can't, nobody can match him. I said, so just try to back into him. I said, if it's a perfect cross, then he's going to, and it happened once and he scored.
Yeah.
I mean, his legs, his feet are.
No, you're talking about one of the greats.
Oh, he's unbelievable. The goal he scored.
Arguably the world's best. There'll be some say forever. So.
He was unbelievable, honestly. In the game, he didn't do a lot in the game, but when the ball went in the wide areas, he was like a man possessed, like just to go and attack it.
He just wanted to score, didn't he?
He was unbelievable. He's unbelievable, unstoppable.
It's interesting that is the one that you think about most as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, what might have been.
Yeah.
So you, of course, work close with Gareth Bale then. Let's say, how good was he? Is he the Wales' greatest player ever?
Yeah, 100% he is. And I played with, I say that as well.
With John Charles?
My father would say John Charles.
Yeah.
I saw some clips of John and he looked awesome.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
he could play centre forward, midfield.
Yeah.
He could. For me, he was.
My father said to me, because when I went to Palace,
Yeah.
because I started left back, then I went centre back, and we had a few injuries. Stevie Coppell who's put me up front. And my father said to me, John Charles played centre back, centre forward.
And this is for Juventus, mind, as well.
He said, and my father said, he was brilliant centre back. He said, you son, you can play centre back and you can play centre forward. He left the brilliant out of it. He just said, yeah. And I said, I got the point, Dad. Yeah. I got the point. He said, tell Steve Coppell, stop putting you up front. But Steve Coppell, right? He used to turn me inside out, Steve. I'd go and see him and say, boss. He said, no, Cook, he's just because we didn't have a striker.
Yeah.
We had injuries. We had no.
Just stand up there.
I hated it. God
bless you, Dad. You can play centre half and you can play centre forward. Not very well.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what he said to me. Yeah.
Didn't have to say it.
That's the difference with you and John Charles.
Yeah, brilliant.
I know. They didn't waste many words, did they?
Not that generation.
Parents, no, they didn't.
No.
Just over a year later, from Euro 2016, you decided to leave Wales for Sunderland. How hard was it leaving the Wales job?
I was tired, to be honest, Mick.
Yeah.
I was like with the international thing. Do you know what happened after the tournament? Then the third campaign, everything was different. Teams, and we found it, we were trying to deal with it because teams were playing differently against us.
Yeah.
And the media saw us.
There's more respect for you.
Yeah. And we were used to like fighting and coming, playing counter. Now teams are sitting back on us. And we were meant to win games rather than people saying they'd be lucky to get a draw. Everything was different for us.
Yeah.
And that was, the third campaign was tough. And Republic beat us in the last game. Baylor was injured, he didn't play. Joe Allen was taken off after 20 minutes. and they, like Martin O'Neill, done his homework on us. Yeah, they played counter-attack, and they were better than us on the night, and they beat us 1-0. And I was like, that's it, I'm done. I got nothing else to give, So that's why I decided to come away then.
You joined Sunderland, and they're doing a Netflix documentary. I'd be interested to know what you think about this. Sunderland Till I Die. As a manager, how uncomfortable was it having cameras everywhere?
I hated it. I didn't know until I got up there. I signed a contract where I live in Winchester. I agreed to sign in Winchester. And I'd played at Sunderland, and I knew it was a great club, and I knew about the fans, and you were there more than me, Mick. You know what it's like. It's an awesome place. So I thought, I'd love to go up there and try to make it
successful.
work. You know what it's like, Tony. You look at it and you go, I can get in there if I can get a few transfer windows. And what a club as well.
It's magnificent.
It's awesome. It's an amazing place.
Tell me, what about the stadium when you turned up? And outside, you think, it's a good stadium, but because you have to go down.
It's down, exactly.
And then you walk into it, it's complete.
It was empty, Mick, and I've got to say, I was a little bit.
You get goosebumps.
This is a proper club there. This is a big club, it's a proper club. But yeah, I didn't know about the
Netflix.
No, coming in the dressing room till I got up there. And it was like, I was so uncomfortable, because I'm not from this. Now we see it all the time. I don't like it. I still don't like it. The changing room is the inner sanctum. That is for the players, for the coaches.
Can you remember early in your career, if ever you won something, you've got to promote it for the fourth to the third or something, can we put the cameras in there?
Yeah.
No. Get lost. They don't want the cameras in. They can have them outside. It's the real private moments, aren't they?
Yeah, and it should be like that.
I did one, I think, at Gillingham millions of years ago, and I regretted that we did it, because it opens you up.
Yeah.
To all and everybody.
I wasn't comfortable at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose some coaches now, they're good with it, they can do it. But I hate it.
Chris, you're being analysed by every single fan. You're being analysed by directors, chairmen, sporting directors, if they're there. Everybody's analysing you. Yeah. You don't want the whole country, world analysing you by what you do, what you say, because there's cameras in there.
No.
It's bloody hard enough as it is.
It is, exactly. I hated it.
And you're different in the dressing room than what you are outside. So people reflect on you by seeing you at work and away from work.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about, you're a completely different person.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like it at all.
As managers, we take a lot of abuse. Yeah. We get a lot of credit as well if you're doing well.
Yeah.
So it comes with the territory. But there's a horrible moment in the documentary where someone verbally abuses you outside the Stadium of Light. How hard are those moments, especially when you're working your nuts off?
Do you know what, Mick? I would have walked away from that. I wouldn't. I had no, because I've heard all that before, but there's a lot of kids.
And he swore, didn't he?
Yeah, and the kids were great with me. They were saying, "Oh, Chris," they were good as goal to sign a few autographs. We just got beat by Burton 2-1. I'm having a chat with Nigel Clough after the game. He was manager of Burton. And if you've ever been relegated, I was as a player. As a manager, he was 100 times worse. I didn't know. I thought, this is it. This is finished. I'm all, I failed everybody. And then this fellow was shouting. I didn't care what he was shouting. It didn't matter. When he started getting abusive, and because I've got kids as well. I've got 6 children. I love my children. And I remember when they were young, and these kids their faces were like,
you reacted off it.
Yeah, and I reacted, and I shouldn't have reacted. I shouldn't have. Whatever he was saying, it didn't matter. He was right to be angry. We'd been relegated, but there was kids there. If I was by myself, I wouldn't have done anything. But I got angry because, and I can't remember my comment about, I said I'm a father or something, because I was getting angry because he shouldn't have, he can shout at me when I'm by myself. And even if it shouted abuse, but it was a lot of foul language. And I got angry.
To be fair to you, when you've gone out to see those kids, you're on a short fuse, aren't you? You've been relegated. You don't need that. But kids, you're always going to go and speak to them and sign autographs and have a photograph with them.
Yeah.
But I love to hear what you're saying is how desperate you felt. Because I'm not sure that
people realise
the effect it has on you.
I thought
you are under that carpet. You're that low,
and there's nothing can lift you, except time and getting back in somewhere else. Or Sunderland sacked me because they had a new owner come in. He sacked me, but the only thing that would have lifted me, because I said, look, I want to stay. Rip that contract up. I'll sign a new contract. I don't care. I just want to stay, put it right. But new owner come in, he had his own ideas. The only way you can get rid of that or wash that off is through football and being successful somewhere else.
Picking the baton up again
And going
starting
again. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's the worst feeling in the world.
Sam Ellis had a one. Sam's a great lad, and he was manager at Blackpool, and Blackpool had lost at home, had a bad defeat, and Sam used to go to this pub all the time after the game. He went to the and then he was getting a little bit of stick with one or two people at the bottom of the bar, and he walked over and he said, "Listen," to the one who was really abusing him.
Must have been a brave lad giving
Well,
Sam
and
stick.
Sam walked over and said to him, "Listen, from 3 o'clock till 20 to 5, you pay your money. You can say what you want about me. Game's finished. We're outside now. My job. You open your mouth again, and the two of us will pop outside and sort it out." And he said he went quiet.
Sam Ellis, yeah.
And I would have gone quiet as well.
I remember Sam. Sam being manager at Buddy.
Yeah.
He's a good fella, Sam.
Brilliant.
I
Brilliant.
had a couple of run-ins with him, with Sam.
Did you?
Yeah, playing against him. He was playing for
Watford?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was their captain through all the leagues.
He was the big striker, big tall striker.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm only young. I'm only 18, 19. I tackle him. Forgive me, I can't remember. Big, tall striker. And he gets carried off with a suspected broken leg, this guy. So me, in my naivety, after the game...
Is it Falco?
No. I know the one.
No, this is
100 years ago.
18,
You weren't
19.
born
You weren't
then.
born, mate. You were still a twinkle in your father's eye. So I go, me in my naivety at Oakwell, I go and knock on the door to say, "How is he?" And I hope he's okay. And it's Big Sam comes to the door. He's like, "What the do you want?" And I said, "I just wanted to know how is he, and I hope he's okay." Off was generally
The last bit there.
So and he said, "I'll do you." And I said, I thought, wow. So I walk off feeling. Anyway, I'd be 18, and I get at the end of the season, I get in the 4th division team of the year with the LMA.
Yeah.
I go down and I sit in my seat and I think, "No, what was that?" Sam Ellis is sat next to me. Oh my goodness! And I'm sat, I'm quivering in my boots, waiting for him to come. And when he comes larger than life. "Mick, how are you? Great to see you." And I thought, wow, I wasn't expecting this.
That's Sam.
I said, I thought you were going to give me a dig in the chin. You threatened me the last time you saw me. "Oh, for him," he said. "He's been carried off 6 times since you did that." He said it's a big soft get. So. Sam,
Do you know, he was young Mick, right?
frightened me to death.
I made a mistake, right? I was only 17. And there was all this talk about this lad that we were playing a pre-season friendly at home. And I was a Swansea boy, he's a big boy. And there was talk about this boy who was coming down for Oxford, this striker. And I was like, I don't care who he is, man. And I jumped into him in the first 5 minutes. And he turned around and he said to me, he went, "Son, that's not a good idea to do that to me." Do you know who it was? Billy Whitehurst.
Oh, dear, I know.
10 minutes later, I was getting carried off. Gee, what a mistake that was.
I tell the story. I give him my best shot with my elbow. He'd been knocking bells out of me. I thought, well, I've got to get him back. My elbow's still sore to this day, by the way. He never flinched.
He was nails, wasn't he, Clark? Jesus.
How the game's changed.
Oh.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you've all had a happy Easter. And whatever football team you're following, they got the result that you wanted. So let's just get back to some predictions, and here are mine for this week. So I've got Sunderland versus Spurs. I've got Sunderland to beat Spurs at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 11th in the Premier League. They beat Newcastle in their last game, and they will be flying still off the back of that. And the Stadium of Light is such a tough place to go. Spurs lost 3-0 at home to Nottingham Forest in their last game. I said, will they have the new manager bounce? I'm not sure. They're getting used to new managers. I just think it'll be such a tough task for them. I've got Sunderland to beat Spurs in my first prediction. Salford playing Gillingham. Salford, who are 5th, won 7 of the last 9. They've lost 2, but they've won all 5 of the last home games. Gillingham, they're 17th. Haven't won a game in the last 7. Sat in League 2 on 46 points. They're not going up, they're not going down. Salford can still get automatic promotion, so I'm taking them to beat that one. Salford to beat Gillingham. Lincoln, they're flying. They're top of the league. They've won the last 2 at home, 1-0 and 3-0 comfortably. Haven't lost in 10, 8 wins and 2 draws. And I'm backing them against Leyton Orient, who are actually in good form, in beating in 6 games. But I'm going on Lincoln, purely on Lincoln's form, being at home, top of the league. They won't want to lose. So Lincoln to beat Leyton Orient. And last by no means least, Plymouth versus Exeter. And it's as near as a local derby you're ever going to get for both of them. Plymouth in 9th, they can still get in the playoffs. They're only 2 points off it. They'll be fighting to get in the playoffs, fighting to get promoted. Exeter haven't won in 10, lost 7, drawn 3. In the bottom 4, fighting to stay in Division 1. So both got something to play for, both got something to fight for, but I'm taking Plymouth to beat Exeter. And the odds from BOYLE Sports are in the video description. Good luck, everybody.
Morning, everybody. Hope we've had a wonderful Easter. Let's get back down to hopefully picking some winners next week. I'll start off up north with Celtic. They play St Mirren. It's still a 3-horse race there. It's been amazing, really, how that has panned out. With Hearts just having their nose in front. I just think it's so important that and being a home game as well, I just fancy Celtic to win that game. The next one is Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday. Again, they're very, very close to the line now and of getting over that line and becoming a Premier League club. Frank's done a fantastic job there. And I just can't see, for all the reasons we know about Sheffield Wednesday and all the problems they've had, which is such a fabulous football club. I just fancy Coventry to win that game and obviously to push on and get promoted. The next game features 2 of my old clubs, Borough against Pompey. I've watched Borough quite a few times and I'm amazed at some of the results that they've been getting. They've been very, very unfortunate. They've played exceptionally well and not taken their chances and then given soft goals away. But I think they are still in with a great chance of automatic promotion. This is a massive game. Pompey will be fighting like hell to stay out of the bottom 3 and get relegated. So it'll be a competitive game. And I'm sure Portsmouth will give it everything they possibly got. That's the way they are as a football club and a football team. But I just fancy Borough to edge that one. And my last one is Chesterfield. Chesterfield are just inside the playoffs. They got Oldham breathing down their necks and a few other clubs. So they need to win this game. They desperately, desperately need to win the game. It won't be an easy game against Tranmere. Again, Tranmere are struggling a little bit down the bottom. And they'll make it very difficult for Chesterfield. But I just fancy those 4 teams. The odds from BOYLE Sports are in the video description.
Finally, you were last in management of the Greek Super League. Are you looking to get back in again? And having managed in China, Greece, Belgium and Spain, are you looking for something closer to home?
No, I like being I don't know, when I first did, we talked earlier about when I first got the job, and I remember getting it thinking, I don't know how long I'm going to be in it because, it's so tough. I thought if I get the chance to go abroad, I'll do that, get experience. And if I've been to different countries, then I'm like widening my, I got a better chance of staying in it. And I quite enjoy being abroad. I do.
What's the difference then that you haven't got all the attention that everybody knows you.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you're still in a job and you're doing a job for a club and there's pressure in every single job.
And you have to win.
Yeah, you got to win.
You have to win, I think. And
tell us, what do you think is the difference?
I like the challenge, like in the different cultures. I like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be really difficult in terms of you go to some stadiums. You said it earlier, Mick, when you was in Cyprus, and the stadiums where you're playing at is like they're like from 40, 50 years ago, non-league, and there's no people there.
Yeah,
and that's a challenge. It's not easy because you're used to having like 20, 30, 40,000 people. That's a challenge. That can be difficult.
What about the language?
I think because we speak English, right? And in Greece, everybody speaks English. when I was in Spain, a lot of them spoke it. Once I started trying to speak Spanish, then they came and started speaking English.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because they thought, well, he's making an effort.
If you try.
If you try, and then they allowed me in, and it was real social. San Sebastian, you've probably been.
Yeah, it's a fabulous place.
That's awesome place. Awesome place. It's a great club, brilliant club.
Yeah.
That I think, because that was my first club, Mick, as well. Having the taste of that, and then being young and naive, you think it's always going to be like that, but it's not. It can be really tough in some places.
Because David managed there as well, didn't he?
Moisey was there, Moisey was there a year as well in San
yeah.
Sebastian. Not an easy club because they're Basque. It's not Spanish. They don't, they don't count themselves as Spanish. They're Basque. So they're not easy to win them over. But if you do, then they're a good bunch.
Can I just say that's every club?
Probably,
Wherever you go, you've got to win them over, haven't you?
That's right, yeah.
And none of them, they all look and think,
Yeah.
I mean, I know if you've got a bit of a reputation, some might be, I think it's even worse if they're expecting great things from you.
Yeah.
You know, and when they do, they'll look after you, the club. If you've done well at the club, no matter where you are, they'll love you, don't they?
Especially be real with them as well. With all the people that have been at that club.
Yeah.
If you're honest with them and if you treat them in a good way, treat them like they should be treated, like in a good way, then they remember you forever, don't they? You go back and it's
just one thing, and I know Mick said that was the last one. Last one from me. You've been outside the country for a while. Compared to when you were in the country and have left and you're looking in from a distance, what do you like? What do you dislike? What do you think we can do better? What can we improve on?
I think I don't enjoy watching football as much as I did 25, 30 years ago. I don't. And I'm not because,
this is British football.
Yeah, Premier League football.
Premier League football.
Because it's now, to me, now it's more like a chess game where it's much, I think it's slower. There's less chaos. I was speaking to my eldest boy, who's in the agency with Andy.
Yes.
World in Motion, and I said, I think that Mick and Tony are going to ask me this question.
Yeah.
And he said, he hit the nail on the head. He said, well, it's now because they've tried to control the chaos in football, and that's when football is at its best, when we don't know what's gonna. And do you remember centre back, centre forward? You knew that was the duel. Full back, winger.
Yeah.
Two
individual ones.
You knew that was going to in any game, and it was ding dongs. But we still. It's not like we didn't play good football, because we played good. I know we played good football. I remember watching. If you look back at games, there's some great football being played. It's just now, I think, because of there's such a massive intrusion, everything's under the spotlight. And 20 years ago, I was at Fulham. I was calling for. I said we should have VAR. We need VAR for the big decisions. I wish I'd shut my mouth.
I think we all think that now,
because it's gone too far.
You're in a club of three now, because the club of two that believe that shouldn't be.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's gone too far.
So they're all. I think they're all trying to play like Manchester City. And I was at the final with City and Arsenal, and Arsenal looked to me like they set off like a house on fire. I thought they wanted. I think they wanted chaos.
Yeah.
Pep never wants chaos. You know, they get the players and they kept the ball. The second half,
they killed the game.
They kept the ball. They killed the game. They kept getting up the pitch against Arsenal. And I thought, this is just Pep and Manchester City.
Yeah.
Killing the game off, not having Arsenal have the ball.
By having possession.
Yeah. And it's great if you're a City fan, and you know I wanted them to win.
Yeah.
But I still like a bit of chaos in the game. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
The European games, when they're just qualifying for the final term, the bits of it, they're all a bit like, you know, chess, as you said. The recent games, you know, Newcastle getting beat 7 and unbelievable games.
We've talked about the Premier League being the best league in the world, Mick, haven't we? And we think it is. But if you have a look at the games that have played last week and the amount of goals Premier League clubs have conceded against the better teams, there's a big question mark over us as a country, as a nation defending. Everybody wants to play with the ball. Yeah. Nobody talks about the work off the ball now.
Correct. You talking about Man City, but this is the big problem, I think, when we look at Man City. They play that they have possession, but with something at the end of it.
Yeah, of course.
With with an action in the final third.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
A lot of teams now get the possession. You've seen now, if you look, I watch a lot of football around Europe, the amount of goals that are given away, mistakes from the keeper trying to make a number 10 pass, or the centre backs trying to give it. Centre backs are in wide areas. They're looking for a short pass. It gets cut out. Now they're wide open because they don't have the players to do it. If you don't have the players to do it, I don't. If you and now because of the high press, the modern jargon, high press, right? Now teams are starting to play over, right? So I don't know whether teams are going to start going
Longer now.
Why don't we go with 2 strikers then if we're going to play over? Which is because you can't build, you haven't got the players to build, and if team's going to press you high, you have to play over because you can't play out unless you got the players to do that.
Chris, mate, you're right in our club here. We goalkeepers catch it and kick it, mate. That's what you're going to do. But I know. But listen, you've been what a fabulous guest.
Thanks for
Really,
having me on.
It's been
Thanks,
great
Chris.
to see you, man. I haven't seen you for
You
a while,
also.
but
Absolutely
lovely to
fantastic.
have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having
coming
me on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you,
Cheers,
boys.
mate.
Thanks.